This is going to be a unscripted, completely personal blog about stuff that's been going on that I kind of need to get off my chest and perhaps present to my audience in perhaps a more raw style and just get something out there that I normally wouldn't, Basically what's happened is in the past week I've regained a friend who I previously lost, and she suffers from major depression and paranoia. And we're part of this, anime forum together. We were in this, Skype conversation because of it. And over the course of the week, she's left about 4 times and come back 4 times because she's, people starting drama and generally being insensitive, and her paranoia generally getting the better of her and thinking that everyone is against her. And I'm the kind of person who always tries to help these people. I mean, you probably can see exactly where I'm going wrong here, me being the white knight and all. But I was showing her sympathy. I was practically walking on eggshells to make sure that I didn't offend her. And, even after just correcting personal mistakes which had done to offend her in the first place, and really she's just like at the height of her absolute paranoia right now. And, basically, I literally asked her if she wanted to. A lot of this information is going to be completely irrelevant, by the way. I'm just speaking from whatever the hell's on top of my head. But I basically asked her if she wanted to be left alone. She said nothing. Instead, gave me a personal journal about her, therapy, about her moves, a therapy diary to track her progress. She literally gave it to me and, wanted me to see this. And the thing is, I just had to point out that she was becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. There are people who don't like her, yes, but it is not her against the world. Including myself, there are a lot more people who are her friends and support her and do not think she's a drama whore that she gives them credit for. And that she is becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy in that because of her paranoia and how she is driving people away and assuming that they are the ones who are after her, who are just against her, and just she can't be the liked one, that's in turn actually causing it to happen to begin with. And I almost want to shake the computer screen and tell her. I just felt that I had to give her this big slab of brutal honesty because she needs to fucking realise this. I'm trained to be a counsellor. Obviously, I am not there yet. I am a long way off being a professional. I have done a concept course and I have a lot more skills to gain. I fucking realise this. And so I'm stopping trying to be a counsellor at this point, with my friends, with my real personal life. I can't do this in my, real individual peer-to-peer basis. And, she basically did exactly what I told her she was doing. She, suggested that I was the backstabber, just goes goodbye and blocks me. And, she just is completely wrapped up and absolutely consumed by her paranoia right now. And I've just completely vented about this to someone, but at the same time, who am I to think that I can interject logic to someone who's basing the entire thing off paranoia and emotion? She is not of a sound mind. I know she is not of a sound mind. That is pretty much certain at this point. I know she is not a rational thinker. It's almost like trying to talk to a creationist or a conspiracy theorist. She is so convinced that people are out to get her, backstab her, and that she can't trust anyone. she will not take logic and she will not take the truth. She will not take reality. She has made her own reality and she is sticking to it. And now I'm wondering my own personal flaws here. As I kind of pointed out when I was doing the counselling course last week, and this is something I was going to blog about, is I'm focusing too much on the words of the person and not enough of the emotion behind it. And I keep saying to people how much I hate black and white thinking, but at the same time, I understand how easy it is for people to fall into the category of, and into black and white thinking, including myself. If I'm not self-loathing, I'm a narcissist. If I'm not a narcissist and egotistical, I'm self-loathing. It's a complete false dichotomy, and this is just the absolute easiest thing to do that I see all the fracking time in real life. And I am walking that fucking line every day. I have walked a mile. I think I've walked a mile in their shoes. I think I know what it's like to be socially rejected and so on and so forth. I think I sympathise with, well, I should say empathise with them, because sympathise is a very different thing. This is me learning here. I think I empathise with them. I think I understand how they, are worried and they feel betrayed. They easily feel betrayed, especially when life dicks them around. And I feel that I'm the kind of guy who wants to be the one they can trust, but at the same time, I am too much like Mr. Spock. I am too logical. I have spent so many fracking years just with minimal social interaction and filling my head with politics and religious stuff, all on YouTube and podcasts, and all this is going about so much about logic and reasoning and how sound logic and reasoning works, and just trying to see what Scouse Casper XS told me about this. I'm naming her just because she told me this, and it's very true. Let's see, what did she say? And I expect to be able to point out something to her that to you is common sense when she's having issues with said paranoia and depression. To me, it is common sense. It's the same with naturism. To me, it doesn't make sense why people cannot see anything as innocent nudity, especially around children. It doesn't make sense to me why people would not be comfortable in their own skin. It just doesn't fit in. It just doesn't, compute. It just doesn't work. And I'm not a complete emotionless robot. I have talked to friends and people who have problems, who have shit thrown at them in life, and I've got along with them. I've helped them. They're all right with me. We're all on good terms. I've been able to actually empathise with them, and for them, logic works. For them actually thinking about, well, what do the actions say? What does the physical reality right in front of my head? What I observe? Does what I observe match up with what I think is going on? That's something I do all the time, and this is what responds to people, but this is such a basic fundamental of counselling. I'm almost ashamed that I completely overlooked it. The fact that not every therapy works for every single person. Logic will not get through to people. Sometimes emotion will get through to people. Sometimes, and really, the thing is, people who take therapy, they can't be helped unless they help themselves. And at this point in time, I can only see that she is needing to help herself. She really needs to just help herself right now. That's all she can really do if she's pushing everybody away from her in sheer paranoia. And this is what I want to learn from my counselling course. This is what I want to do to become a better person. I want to learn how to think with my heart more. I know it sounds cheesy, but what Captain Disillusion says isn't always exactly true. He says, you know, love with your heart, use your head for everything else. It's not that simple. It's never that fucking simple. It's never that fucking simple. It never is. I just don't 100% know or understand how to deal with people who are working on an emotional level, whose thoughts and actions are dictated more by emotion and not by rational thinking. I know these are extreme cases, but this has happened before. I have come up with these people before, and no doubt in my career that I want to have, I am going to come up against with these people again. There's no question that I'm going to have to go with those people. And this is what I'm going to have to learn to deal with. But right now, I just want to know. I just want to find out and just begin. Just start to have this little slither of learning so that I can understand how to create an emotional response to calm an emotional person. Maybe taking the initiative and leaving them alone even if they didn't ask for it is the best idea. And maybe confronting them at later dates when actually, you know, when actually confronting them in real life, and maybe just confronting them when they're calmer when it's a good idea. So many good ideas here. But right now I just don't quite understand. My brain is too stuck on logical thinking. And this is a reason why I'm taking less interest in religion topics these days. I think I'm becoming too much of a serious person. I just can't seem to... I can talk to friends about it and, you know, one-on-one, but when it comes to making videos, I don't feel I can make anything of substantial quality when it comes to entertainment. That's why the Nightmare Rider channel has been largely neglected. And, you know, I want to focus on one more thing, and it's another reason I haven't been writing recently. I'm, you know, too much of a nitpicker. I don't know where I'm going with it. I am a perfectionist. I just cannot make a half-assed job of something and just do something to do something. I need to be perfect, and I can have so many dreams of producing videos of the same quality of producers of thatguywiththeglasses.com, or maybe even to the level of Brett T. Palmer here on YouTube. Hell, the living dinosaur. I could not have the patience or skill, especially because I hate the sound of my own voice. I never edit videos, I never edit them all. I never had the patience or skill to create something of that level. But perhaps if I learned how, perhaps if I learned to grow as a person and grow up a bit more and understand how to tackle these kinds of people and how to help them understand how their own actions and how everyone's actions by themselves on their own contribute to how other people perceive us. Sometimes they are irrational, sometimes we are irrational. But it's all a web, it's all contributing to each other. And if people just think that someone is completely out to get them, and that everybody is against them, no matter what, then they're impervious to logic. They're just closed off their mind and live in their own little world, as I explained before. The trick is breaking them out of that. Maybe her fiancé can break her out of it, or maybe he'll just be the yes man, nod along, and just accept it. This is what pisses me off about people as well. People who just go with them. Maybe this is the logical part of my brain talking again and not understanding emotion. But from my point of view, if you don't challenge these people, you just let them do it and you let them be right all the time and never let yourself be right. Never let them be wrong. It can be the reverse, of course, but if they are never wrong, they're not going to get better. They are going to continue on this cycle and just keep going down and down and down and down until someone snaps them out of it. That's what I want to do. In an ideal world, that's what needs to happen. That's what happens in anime. That is what happens all the fracking time. That is what happens in fiction. Reality isn't that way. Reality is a fracking bitch. Reality is an absolute bitch, and I don't think I can say much more. That's what I need to learn. That's what so many other people need to learn. Reality is a fracking bitch. And until I learn that, until I learn how to respond emotionally, and how to learn the correct behaviour around these people, and how to just not make enemies, and, not drive these people away when I'm trying to help them. Or maybe even not bother helping them at all. Maybe when I learn that, then things will get better. Maybe. Something I'll have to learn as time goes on.